Choconoa is a supremely surreal 3D action platformer wherein you play as a sugary chef in a town full of other sugary chefs who are all named Chef. Your goal is to explore 4.5 fantastical worlds, evading orcs and kitchen-themed instruments of death on your way to topple King Morfowl, a wicked tyrant who stole all your baking supplies. That may sound relatively sane as platformers go, and the game itself has clear inspirations from Crash Bandicoot, but the way it's all presented is baffling and bizarre. Everything is garish, oversaturated, and generally looks like a 3D tech demo, coupled with some curious sound design. Like, listen to the audio that plays when I bust a bad guy. Basically, Choconoa doesn't feel real. It seems stitched together from hazy memories of PS1 platformers with a candy coating of generic character designs and confectionery collectibles. This is the sort of fake game you'd see in a 2000s sitcom, and if you are capable to push past all the audio-visual abnormalities, it's actually quite good. The design is largely built around arcadey precision platforming, with each world housing a different theme, and each level housing a different gimmick. One level will be about avoiding lightning-fast rolling pins, another about stone crushers, or, my personal favorite, there's one with dive-bombing bees. None of the hazards feel remotely similar to one another, and they all require genuine critical thought to circumvent, particularly when the game starts mixing them all together. Having to avoid thrown bombs while bees buzz by you and you're sliding on speedy frosting? That's good stuff. Checkpoints are spaced reasonably far apart too, so you can't just rely on blind luck. This is a varied, thoughtful, and tight experience. It is also incredibly amateurish though, like some of the hazards just plain don't work the way they're supposed to, or there's a couple level gimmicks that are plain bad. There's one stage that's just, oops, all boxes. There's nothing but boxes and boxes and boxes. You have to break all of them to nab the collectibles too, so it's a troublesome time sink. The worst sin by far is the distinct lack of rhythm and flow. Crash Bandicoot, to contrast, felt like Sonic or Donkey Kong Country in the way you chained movement together to slide seamlessly through the stages. You'd work yourself into a brilliant trance of precise platforming perfection. Choconoa doesn't really facilitate that same flow. So what you're ultimately left with is a middling 3D platformer with aggressively unusual presentation. But honestly, I think that may be good enough. It brings me back to the mascot wars of the Super Nintendo and Genesis, where everyone was desperate to stand out, but not stand out too much. Choconoa itself stands out too much in the wrong ways and not enough in the right ones, but that's part of its charm.